Free vending.
All right, so what we're doing today is we're swapping out the coin acceptor on this Merlin IV machine. What had happened was I was going by the machine and it was saying exact change only. And when the machine starts saying exact change only, you sort of suspect there's some type of issue with the coin acceptor, that it's not going to give proper change. I thought it was just out of quarters because I had dropped the price of the sodas down to 25 cents to try to get rid of the old stock. And I figured, oh, it was just giving all the quarters change, and it ran out of quarters. But when I opened it up, I saw the coin mech had all the quarters in it. So to try to troubleshoot, I dumped all the change out of the coin mech and did tube fill mode so that the coin mech would count all the coins going into it so it knew how much change it had. And what I discovered by doing that is it wasn't counting the nickels going into the coin acceptor. The sensor for the nickel column was messed up and it kept resetting back to 0. And the problem with that is a coin mech needs to have nickels so that it can give change for any denomination. And without the nickels, knowing that it has nickels in it, it's going to say exact change only. So what I had done is I had a spare coin mech. You should always have a spare coin mech. I threw the spare coin mech in and sent the one that had the bad nickel sensor to Vendors Exchange to get repaired. That's what I use for repairing these coin mechs. They charge a flat rate plus parts. It cost me about $10 to ship it there, and then $62 for the repair. It needed a couple parts, a part up in the flight deck and an LED light. And so now they sent it back to me. Now what a lot of people will do is when they get these coin mechs back from being repaired, they just store them as their backup coin mech. The problem with that is you're not quite sure if the company fixed it correctly. You're just assuming that they did, and they may not have. Plus, these things come with a 1-year warranty after they're repaired, and unless you put it in a machine and get use out of it that year, you're not going to be able to make good on the 1-year warranty. So I'm going to put the repaired coin mech back in this machine, and the one that I put in there, I will keep it as the backup coin mech. The first step when you're going to switch out a coin mech or a bill acceptor, you have to unplug the machine. If you try to unplug the cords out of this while the machine is on, you're going to burn out either the coin mech or the main control board. So always unplug your machine before working on these components. I'm simply going to unplug it right from the wall. All right, so the coin mech is behind the inside door. This Merlin IV, it's right behind this metal door, and here you see it. This one is a coin code just like the one that was originally in here. It's a 3-tube one. You have quarters, nickels, and dimes. To get this thing out of here, what you have to do is get to the screws, which are behind the flight deck. You put these tabs up, and then you're going to see your screws in here. And you just want to loosen these so that you can pull it up and off of the screws. They might not even be tight. They might be loose, and they sort of feel like they're not real tight. You don't have to take them completely out. Now, before you actually pull the coin mech up, you want to unplug it. And this one plugs in right here. Once again, make sure your machine is turned off before you go in here unplugging it. Got to pull that tab up, pull the cord through, and that's the only cord going to it. So now you're just going to push it up and then pull it forward, and then you got it out of there. Now this guy is loaded with change in here, and I'm going to have to dump all that out. So I'm going to take the flight deck off here. Somebody actually gave this to me, another vendor. It was filthy when he gave it to me. I think he just assumed it wasn't working, or maybe it wasn't working well for him. So I figured I would just hold on to it, maybe use it for parts, like maybe the flight deck would work. But actually I just cleaned it up and it works great. Everything on it works. The dispense coin buttons on it work. The tube sensors work. To clean something like this, you just want to make sure all the dirt is out of here. I use compressed air, a can of compressed air to blow out all the big dust. And then you pull back this little flight deck sensor here. And these are all the sensors that sense the coins. I use a microfiber cloth like this. I use like some screen. It's like LCD screen cleaner. It's like a really mild, like an alcohol. I don't use straight up isopropyl alcohol. Use this, moisten the towel a little bit, and just wipe all the visible dirt off of there on both sides. Get that real good and clean. Blow out any big dirt. Blow out any big dirt from the inside track. And yeah, I clean this up good. You shouldn't actually let that slam down like that. That's not a good thing. Let that come down just normal. So here's the repaired one. Looks just like the other one. When Vendors Exchange repairs it, they put a sticker on the side of it. It has the date that they did the repair. This says September 4th, 2020. That's for warranty purposes. You don't want to get rid of that. We are going to have to put the change in here. You don't put the change in now. We want to use tube fill mode so that the machine's board counts how many coins are going into each column, and the machine will know how much change it has. We're just going to line these openings up with the screw holes. This flight deck we can pull down. We're going to need to pull it down anyhow to get to the screws, but when you pull it down, you can see the screws as you lift it onto them. Depending on the coin mech and the machine, you might not go down all the way. You can see that the screws aren't all the way down on this machine. That's fine, it's not going anywhere. I'll tighten them up and it will be fine. And notice the coin mech has these three little switches in here. This first one determines whether it will accept US currency or Canadian. Now somebody has this set to Canadian. I want to put that switch up to US currency. The second one is the low 25 cents mode. If that is turned on, then it keeps your quarter column in the coin mech low instead of letting it fill all the way up to the top. And then the final one here is whether the coin acceptor will accept dollar coins. I leave that on. I want to accept the dollar coins, and I'll leave it in the US currency. The low acceptor I'll leave off. I don't care if it fills up with the quarters. It's fine. So okay, let me get in here and tighten these screws up. All right, that looks tight. I don't tighten the bottom one. It's fine, it's not gonna go anywhere. Carefully put up your flight deck. Watch this coin return switch. Make sure that gets underneath that part. Make sure that works okay. Then feed in your connector cable. Connect that up. Now let's just plug it back in. The next step is to get into the tube fill mode so that we can put all that change back into the coin acceptor. To do that, you have to press the programming button on the control board. It's down here, a little blue button. Press that in. Here on the display, I see that the correct change light is on, and that's because there's no change in the change acceptor yet, so it can't give change. It knows that it needs to leave this light on. Since I pressed the programming button, it says cache. That's the first menu that comes up. I need to get to the tube fill mode. So we're going to press this first button to start sequencing through the different menus. And there it is. TUFL stands for tube fill mode. I'm going to press the third button to enter into that. And now it's ready to start counting the coins as I put them in. So I just start grabbing my change and dropping in, and this is a quarter. That's not a good sound. That's not a good sound. Okay, so it's not taking any of the change. I'm putting it in and all the change is coming out into the coin return, which tells me something. It tells me that Vendors Exchange did not repair that coin acceptor right. Which is exactly what I was telling you. You've got to check your coin acceptors when you get them back from being repaired. If I would have held on to that and used it as a backup for another machine, eventually it may have been out of warranty. And I try to put in a machine, it won't work, and then I'm going to have to pay for the repair all again. So I have to now take that coin acceptor out, put my backup back in, and ship it back to Vendors Exchange. There's going to be another video associated with this. All right, here we go. All right, so it's been 2 weeks, and just yesterday I got back the coin mech from being repaired a second time from Vendors Exchange. And I had to pay another $10 to ship it out there. I was originally in the repair $65 from the original initial repair. Had to spend another $10 to ship it out there. They repaired it again and then wanted to charge me another $10 to ship it back, which would have put me into it then I would have been $20 into it again. Then I would have been like $85 into this repair. So I actually emailed Vendors Exchange, complained, said, hey, you're charging me for the shipping. You didn't fix it the first time. So they actually not only reimbursed me for the $10 shipping, but also the $10 that I put in to ship it out to them. So they're giving me $20 back. So I'm still into the repair at this point, $65. But is the repaired coin mech going to work this time? And remember, that's what this video is all about. When you get a coin mech back from being repaired, or you buy a new one to use as a backup or a used one, you got to put it in a machine and make sure it works to make use of that warranty, that 1-year warranty. Don't just assume that because it was repaired or you bought a refurbished one that it's going to work. So that's what this is all about. So here it is. They didn't send me a different one. This is the exact same one that I originally sent to them to repair, that then I sent back to them. Same serial number, same Vendors Exchange sticker on the side. All right, at this point now I got to take out the one that's in there and put this one back in, and then we'll try putting it in tube fill mode and see if it actually works this time. Reinstalling the repaired coin mech. Tighten her up. Let's see if it works. Pressing the programming button on the control board. Tube fill. We're going to press the third button to enter that mode. And it's ready to start counting coins. Let's see if it works. All right, so I got my stack of coins. Let's start with a quarter and see if it counts it. It actually counted it. You see a number 1. And it didn't go to the coin return, which is a good sign. It actually stacked into the coin acceptor to give us change. That's exactly what we want. And we'll put a second quarter in. It should go to a 2. It's counting quarters. Let's keep throwing them in there. This is very promising. Sounds great. Sometimes I dream about the sound of change going into a vending machine. It's just a very pleasant sound. It's a sound of making money. So I have 23 quarters in there. Now I'm going to start putting nickels in there. Remember, a coin acceptor needs nickels in it in order to get out of exact change mode, because that's the smallest denomination of change. So once I start throwing these in, it should go to 1, because now it has 1 nickel in it, and it'll start counting up nickels. still has the correct change only when lit on, because I haven't gone back in the vend mode. But once I close the door and put this machine back into vend mode, that light should go out at this time since I have 20 nickels in there. Let me start throwing some dimes in there. Once again, it should go back to 1 once I put the first dime in. And now it's going to count up dimes. Whenever you put your coin mech in here, this is the way you want to set it up. You want to go into tube fill mode. Just don't dump a bunch of change into the coin mech when the machine is off, because then the control board doesn't know how much change is in the coin mech. You want the machine's control board to know how much change it's dealing with. Plus, it's fun to just dump a bunch of change into the coin slot on a machine. Now, if I went back and started putting nickels in here again, it should continue where I left off on the nickels. I don't remember. I might have had, how many nickels did I have in there? 24 maybe? I had 20 in there, so now it went up to 21. That wasn't a good demonstration. But you notice I had 21 dimes in there, so now if I put a, these are still nickels. If I put a dime in there now, it should go to 22. You see that? So this is a very good sign that this coin mech has finally been repaired by Vendors Exchange. They let me down on the first repair. I don't know what happened, but at least they reimbursed me for my shipping. So to get out of tube fill mode, I'm gonna press and hold the third button, and then it's gonna go back into our vend mode. Let's close the door and just test the coin acceptor with different change and just make sure it's working and giving change properly. So most of these selections are set right now to $1, except the last Gatorade is set to $1.50. Let me put, let's put a quarter in. It should count 25 cents. It did. Another quarter, 50. Let's put 2 dimes in. 60, 70. Let's put a couple nickels in. 75, 80, 85. And let's just throw another quarter in. It will allow me to take money up into the machine up to the $1.50 mark, because the highest price beverage is $1.50. So right now it has $1.10, but I'm just going to buy one of the dollar selections, and it should give me 10 cents in change if it's working right. Let's buy a Diet Coke.
Thank you, and goodbye.
And it vended the Diet Coke, and it gave the dime change. Let's try it one more time, see if we can get a different denomination of change. Let's put $1.15 in. And I'll buy another $1 drink. Let's get a Mountain Dew. Oh, I have the timer set on this machine. It doesn't want to vend Mountain Dew until after 250. If you want to see how to do timers, check my other video on using timers. Especially important if you're vending in a school and you have to have certain selections turn off because of the calories at certain times of the day. Well, let's just do the water. That's $1, and that will vend all day. Got my water, and it gave me a dime and a nickel. Gave me my 15 cents change. So this coin acceptor, it seems to be working 100% now. Now you should know how to change out a coin mech if you have to. And remember, the whole point of this video is when you send out a coin mech for repair, make sure you put it in a machine and use it for that year warranty that you get when you have a coin mech repaired. Don't just assume it's going to work. Well, that's all for this episode. As always, happy vending.